A nice little 10 by 10. I could definitely see on one side here having like a little twin bed, and maybe with a nightstand, and then over here maybe have like a little table with 2 chairs, and maybe in the corner a little wood stove fireplace, and then if you did it right and you got the right kind of twin bed, you could get some of those twin beds that have little drawers and stuff underneath it for storage. And then maybe you might even be able to possibly, maybe if you did it right, could fit maybe like a vertical dresser in here as well. And then that would give you some storage, or, you know, build some little, put some cabinets way up high if you knew you'd be careful and not bump your head and stuff. So this little 10 by 10 shed, I could see building something like this and making like a little tiny house for homeless if I had the money. Well, yeah, there's the front of it. Of course, a little side view. Now, obviously, if I had this, I wouldn't be adding the double doors there. I would add a standard exterior 9-light door, and then maybe a little window next to it. I wouldn't have this kind of door set up. But here's the information about this. I notice it don't say anywhere price, but I'm assuming this is probably roughly around $2,000 to $3,000, maybe $4,000 at the most, or $5,000 at the most. But yeah, I could definitely see that being built into like a little, like, tiny house structure, you know, something that size would be perfect if you was somebody that was rich and had a lot of money, and you could build little tiny houses for the homeless in your area and stuff, you know. I could see that definitely being a perfect little size to, you know, for a single homeless person or something, you know. Maybe 2 people if you was a couple or something, you know, like maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever situation, you know, and you really knew each other, you might be able to get 2 people in there and maybe a full bed. But definitely a single person you could definitely manage. Or instead of having like a table on one side like I talked about, have that side as another bed and a friend or something. But yeah, I could definitely see that size of shed. I could just picture it in my head being like a small little tiny house structure. Maybe someday on my YouTube channel I can afford to buy a shed like that and maybe try making a little tiny house.